Hello, everybody. I'm Laurențiu.
And I'm Alexandra, and welcome to today's after church tea time.
We are accompanied by Nicole.
And I'm Nikki today.
Hello.
Hello.
And we're discussing today's sermon from a beer about valuing ourselves and how that looks like, how that feels like, how we can go deeper in this space. And I felt like this was a really timely sermon for for us, for everybody. I know that recently we have gone through like some healing about going deeper in valuing ourselves in different aspects of our life. And I think like this sermon just allowed us to ground into, it is the truth that we are, we are divine and we are enough. And it is safe for us to go deeper in this space and really claim our value and see, are there any places where we're not valuing ourselves and make new choices there. I think it was, again, just a really beautiful sermon to kind of contemplate on, to sit with, to just absorb and allow to make new choices and go deeper with.
What do you guys think?
I really liked the sermon. It was very timely, and I feel like I really like the depth of it and how far back a beer brought everyone, like to seeing the source and the core reason why we don't see ourselves as divine all the time, like how the system has taught us, and mainly in school. And it was very eye-opening into seeing like the truth that, oh, look, like maybe you are not good in certain subjects because it's not in your soul design, and that's normal. It doesn't mean that you're less divine or you're less like of yourself or you're not good enough. It's just that you are created to do something that you like more than what is not actually related to your purpose and your preferences, and that's like very okay.
Yeah, and I like the part where she mentioned how when we grow up, we usually like grow up in a very competitive environment where we don't actually see that everybody is designed in a certain way to like certain things and not like everything. And that's why like we subconsciously are programmed to compare ourselves with others and automatically devalue ourselves in that way. And I agree what she said, that it's mostly from school and childhood.
Yeah, I think like it's quite interesting to see how in this school environment, I think like everything comes from a place of not good enough. Because in order for you to kind of be a good enough student, you have to be good at everything, which again, according to how God created us, we're not supposed to be good at everything. Like we're supposed to be good at things that we're supposed to be good at, that come actually very naturally and easily to us. For example, I know that there were some, kids when I was like in high school or in school that were very good at math, and they seemed to just like, breeze through it, no matter, even if like they did do a lot of hard work, but even if like I felt like I would put like the same amount of work, I couldn't like achieve the same level of performance that they did. And there was always this feeling of like, oh, I'm not good enough because I cannot get to the same level that they are. But I really love that it brought like a beer brought us back to like very fundamental piece of how you were created. And of course, like we can always grow in our skills and learn different things. But I think like one of the blocks that I have been personally healing and going deeper with recently, and I feel like it connects very deep with this, is that just because I can do something doesn't mean that I'm supposed to do it or that I should be doing it. Because I think like all of us can do a lot of things, but are we designed to do them? Does it feel good? Does it feel juicy for us to do them? And that's where we might not be valuing ourselves, because we have this impression of, well, oh, if you just try a bit harder, you could do it. Or, oh, if you did a bit more, you could do it. When, yeah, but also no. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing this. I loved in the sermon that Abir shared at the beginning that we were taught that we use the outside as reference for our values. So even parents or school, that if they like that, we are likable. And if they think that this is valuable, that we think this is valuable, and that we, don't see ourselves as divine, and that's enough, and explore what we really like is enough, and naturally come in that space of, if I like art, or if I just feel good at doing this or that, that this is, enough. Comes to it comes back to this, that it's easy and that you don't have to make it harder, and try to, try to be someone you are not, in making others like yourself, in doing what they think is valuable.
I feel a really important piece Kabir shared as well was experimenting in what we value and in what we like. For example, in my own experiences in life, I've been like experimenting with a lot of stuff that I thought I liked. For example, filmmaking and stuff that I thought that I really were like the core aspect of my life purpose. And also in those kind of environments, for example, in workshops or interacting with other filmmakers, I always used to have this feeling that, oh, okay, there is this high level of doing this certain thing that I don't see myself achieving. And I see how I was programmed to automatically devalue myself and feel like a failure and not being able to achieve something that I liked in life. But I see how valuable it is to experiment and see what you really value at the core, and strive for that, like go after that and explore deeper.
I feel from my side, like now that you shared like your piece in your life, I see that I was not very good at school. I didn't want to do my homework or like to learn and stuff. And there were like certain subjects that I liked, but what I liked the most was the stuff that I used to see after school or in my free time that actually made me joyful. And it was all about spirituality and crystals and tarot cards and stuff like that. And I see now that actually I was doing what my heart was calling me to do. It's not that I was less than other people or I had like some learning disability or something. It's just how I was. And that's okay. And that's perfect, actually.
Yeah, what you made me remind, it was when I was at primary school, I used to go like close myself for like a couple hours to do my homework or like to educate myself for exams. But what I always ended up doing was reading other books, for example, like psychology books, completely stuff different from what I was supposed to. And now that I see, it's because that I really aligned with those stuff at the core, and I really found something there that made me feel good.
Mm.
So yeah. it's safe to go after that feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that you guys shared about your school experience, maybe I can share mine since everybody has shared that. Well, I feel like, when I was in school, I had a lot of challenges just enjoying school. I had a lot of problems just seeing the value in it, and like until a point where actually like something that I still hold dear in my heart. It's actually the subject that a lot of people run away from, and it's math. I deeply enjoy math in school. I was actually like kind of top in high school and stuff like that for math because I enjoyed it so much. But I did put a lot of effort in, as Alexandra was sharing about, how she saw people. But I felt like, I don't know, I got something there that I resonated with. But the rest of the things were like that I wasn't very good at. And I remember how I was a bit harder myself with everything else than math, since math came natural to me. So here I feel now, like with the awareness from now, it's seeing that I'm valuable no matter what. And like it would be nice to be a system where you're valued fully for who you are rather than, everything that you're not. Because I feel like I was evaluated for a lot of things that I'm not, which didn't feel like supportive at all.
Yeah, it's I think like it would be great if like we were be raised in an environment where we can like safely explore our values and how we can contribute to society in a way that feels good to us. And yeah, right now school doesn't really do that. It's a very uniform and linear, you have to be good at everything kind of situation. And that mentality obviously doesn't help. And I think like great, to be honest, I think there are parents who are kind of awakening to this and like kind of seeing these things for what they truly are and encouraging the children to go in a better direction. But we still kind of have a lot to heal in this space. And what I feel like it's we actually had like a conversation with a teacher that had kind of like an upset about her students being stuck in a place where they didn't feel valuable or they didn't feel good enough. Like they had this exercise that they wanted to do and everybody got basically stuck because they couldn't know what to do and they didn't know what to do. And it was a bit sad in a way for me to kind of hear that, because I think I also resonated with the part of me like when I was in high school. I felt like those things that maybe I felt called to do, like playing video games, didn't really matter. Like they didn't really contribute to my capability to be like an efficient adult, let's say, or like an adult that contributes to society in a meaningful way, because gamers have this reputation of being just, I guess, lazy by being stuck with their head in their computer all the time. But I think like there is a lot of potential there that went untapped with this situation, and a lot of things that could be learned from either video games, either whatever you want to do as a child kind of naturally. I think like that piece has a great value, right? Coming back to value. And truly and honestly, all that it takes is somebody who can see that and encourage you to pursue that. I remember that in high school, I had some teachers that were very passionate about what they were doing. They absolutely loved their subject. They were like husband and wife. One of them was like teaching chemistry. One of them was teaching physics. And they absolutely loved what they, like, I cannot like express how much they love what they're doing. Like they were like always up to date with the latest news. Like I know like my physics teacher was supposed to teach us like refraction and stuff like that, but he was like talking about NASA and how the latest shuttle that they went into space and how that affects, you know, the overall physics environment and what they're like discovering and everything. He was clearly like very passionate, right? And for a moment in my exploration, I thought I was passionate about that too. And I was like, I'm going to become a chemist because I really loved it. But what I realized a bit later was that I was not passionate about the subjects themselves in the same way that they were, but I was inspired by their passion, you know, in the way that they allowed themselves to just be completely in love with what they loved.
And what they value.
And what they valued, right? And that inspired me to kind of allow myself to relax in the same way, even if like I had to fight against the current in some ways. Like even if like my parents were like, it's a little bit weird. And I'm grateful that my parents were just like, I don't know kind of what you're doing, but I'm gonna let you do whatever you want. Yes, because I was feisty. I'm grateful that they did that. I know like not all parents are like that. Yeah, it's kind of this exploration that it's safe to do it where you have like a lot of, I think like it's safe to say that you have a lot of passion for what you value. And it's safe to see like where you are passionate about something. And yeah.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your experience about passion, and yeah, that it's safe to explore what you really like and feel into, where you're good at, and what's driving you forward. And yeah, what comes to my mind is the Church of Union and the volunteering. And I'm very happy that we have the opportunity to volunteer and explore where we're good at and heal our wounds in regards to school and the job world and childhood, where we are not allowed to explore design maybe or mathematics because your parents may have told you to become a lawyer or become a doctor in science or whatever. And the Church of Union really gives you the space to, yeah, have a safe environment where you can heal all of these wounds around value and passion. And this is what came up for me as I heard you talking.
For me, I remember when I was at school, I used to like drawing a lot, and I couldn't wait like for the hour of class of drawing. And now that I feel into it was not because I was passionate like about drawing or something. Of course, I liked it and I still like it, but I don't usually draw now a lot. But what I felt there was that I valued a lot of freedom, expression, just having a white blank page in front of me and just drawing whatever I like, because my drawing professor was the only one who said, who used to say that you can draw whatever you like. Sometimes he would give a subject, but most of the time it was just self-expression, whatever you like. So yeah, I was saying that.
Like the freedom of creativity, like expressing yourself creatively without the, I don't know, the box of school. Yeah. I wanted to add, like, from the sermon about Abir saying that we have to hold our standards very high, and how we have to see our divinity and really like value our standards and our values and act upon those values. I remember like at the end of the sermon, she was speaking about our love list that we make about our twin flame or anything. and we write our values there. And she was asking, like, do you actually have these values in your day-to-day life? Like, do you actually apply them? And that made me think. I was like, where am I not staying my ground? Like, where am I not grounded in my values? Where do I accept not being treated okay? Where do I accept not treating myself as divine for acceptance or for compromising through fear of rejection or anything? And I was like, well, yeah, I've been healing like this past week, this specific thing. And it was very perfectly said and resaid and reaffirmed that it's like okay to stand our ground and like hold our standards and know that that's what God wants and that nothing bad will happen. Like it's just you honoring yourself.
Yeah, having a high self-esteem.
Yeah.
I feel like there is a lot that goes into just allowing yourself to value yourself. If you come from an environment where valuing yourself was not encouraged, let's say, then this might be pretty challenging in the beginning and a pretty kind of a foreign concept. But even if it is, don't allow yourself to be discouraged by it, by, oh, maybe like it's too late for me, or I cannot, even if I have this value list or this love list, I cannot never make it. That's part of that lack mentality or not being good enough. And it's an invitation here for you to surrender that, love yourself in that space, and just allow yourself to claim everything that you desire there. And as Nikki said, just hold yourself accountable for that within yourself first. And that's the most important thing that you can do, actually, because it's kind of the same thing. Like if you don't love yourself, how can you love somebody else? How can you be loved by somebody else? So if you don't value yourself, if you don't hold yourself up to your own standards, then how can anybody value you and hold your standards in your relationships? And how can you do that as well with others? How can you truly value others and hold their standards in their relationships? So it's really important to look at this within yourself first and have this exploration of, okay, am I, I would like for my twin flame to respect me, right? Well, how am I respecting myself? Am I disrespecting myself in any circumstance? Am I having disrespectful patterns, or do I allow disrespect easily in my life? I would like for my twin flame to commit to me and be committed to me. Well, do you commit to yourself? Do you allow yourself to put yourself first in a way? Or do you have a pattern maybe of people pleasing or trying to put yourself down because you feel like that might give you something? Like all of these situations, and I think like your love list, if you really sit with it, it's a really great healing tool that can make you, like, it can really propel you forward on your journey to see, okay, what's happening here? How can I go deeper in this space, right? And it's also a matter of, I feel, kind of riffing off what Nikki said, like not getting frustrated with yourself if, oh, you thought you healed something, but it comes up again. Like, oh, you thought you valued yourself, but now you're being kind of asked to go deeper in this space and value yourself even more, because love is ever expanding. So therefore, I don't think there will be a place where we will be like not exploring these things within ourselves constantly. it kind of remembers me about something that I think Jeff shared in a romance attraction class, in the romance attraction e-course, Twin Flames romance attraction e-course, where he shared that the love between you and your twin flame is ever growing. So therefore you will always be exploring with your twin flame, your relationship, and going deeper with it. So that means maybe right now you feel like, okay, the first step is about getting into union, and you get into union, and after union comes harmonious union, and after harmonious union, comes perfect union. Of course, the path to perfect union is a bit more windier, I guess. We'll get there. But you have all of these things that you can deepen into, like first maybe getting a house and getting clear on your perfect house, and then getting clear on your perfect health situation, getting clear. There's so many things that you can do together and go deeper with, and there will be no stop to this. There will be no end to this process. And I feel like it's similar to you valuing yourself. There will never be a moment when you stop valuing yourself, or you have decided, oh, that's enough. I guess I can stop now. Like it is done. It will be, from what I feel, going on kind of continuously until forever, because it's not like God stops valuing himself at any time. And since we are created by him in his image, then we must be the same as well.
Mm-hmm. And something to, go deeper, I feel like, about valuing what Abir said in the sermon was about how easy it is for us to value others who have already realized great success, like celebrities or even great masters. And usually, like, we see them and we say, okay, they have achieved all of that, so we value them. But I feel like, with that comes the point of realizing what true success is. And that's something that we're not really taught in society, to look at, okay, are we successful even though we haven't, become a pop star or something like that, or become a kind of influential person? Well, I feel like really this goes into, I don't know if it was in Team Flame Ascension School or Life Purpose class, with like, how do you know if you're successful? And how do you know if you really have achieved, not necessarily have achieved success, but if you are in a space of success? And I really love what it says there, that success is more like, are you choosing to heal? Are you choosing to move forward? Are you choosing to really grow into your life? And that's what shows you that you're successful or not. It's not about how much you achieved. It's not about how much of a star you are, or how much of an influential person you are. It's more this inner choice that shows you if you're successful or not. And I feel like that's very valuable to know, because then, you realize that you are very valuable. Yes, you haven't achieved to that maybe level as others in your own purpose, but that doesn't mean you're less valuable. And I feel like that's something that Abir was kind of focusing a bit on there as well. Any other thoughts, you guys?
I feel like I would have like one more little story to share about this, and it comes from a self-realization fellowship video that I have watched recently. They had like a world conference, and they posted like a lot of talks, and it was really great. And I've watched a few of them, and in one of them, the how to say it, a monk, I guess, was presenting, had like a lot of beautiful stories and said something that really struck with me, and I have been kind of coming back to this piece over and over again because it just felt so juicy. And what he said was that it's very natural for us to value perfection because God is perfect and God creates perfection and we are perfect. And therefore, it's very natural for us to value perfection and strive for perfection in our life. And maybe right now we're not in a space where we feel perfect, right? Like we're still healing through separation consciousness and deal with, you know, mud on the diamond, right? Where Fabian said in the outro. So we're dealing with that, right? And what he shared was really, really deep and valuable for me when I heard it, was that because we don't feel perfect, or we don't feel like valuable in this case, we have the tendency to separate ourselves even deeper, like go and hide, go and do something else, go and like not be seen, in order for us to find that perfection within ourselves, so then we can arise as perfect, right? And that's again kind of how society teaches us to, you know, you're not good enough, sit there, don't come out. But what he shared was really beautiful. He shared that it is in that hiding that we will never achieve that perfection, because we can only achieve perfection when we are with God. So in our kind of kindness, we would like to go in front of God as perfect and give perfection to him because we love him and we want to again, like have that relationship with him in that way. But we might not feel perfect because of our current experience, and that stops us from going to God. But actually, the only thing that we need to do is go to God, because nothing ever is perfect without God. So in separating ourselves from God, we don't get to allow ourselves to see our perfection. So in kind of to tie it with the subject of value, in order for us to find what is truly valuable for us, we would have to explore our own relationship with God and go to God in that space, because coming back to the soul design thing, we have been created already in a specific way, and finding what we value. Yes, we're going on an exploration about it. However, it's not something new to us. It's something that's actually very comforting and like deep, like we have a deep knowing about it, like breathing. Like that's how you know, harmonious union is, for example, and we have been created to be in harmonious union with our twin flame. So therefore, when ask everybody that has achieved harmonious union, they will tell you their heads didn't pop off or something. It was a very it was a very peaceful feeling. It was like, oh, I see now. It's a very peaceful feeling, like an inner knowing that just was there forever, and now you just kind of a light, you know, turned on in your consciousness and you see it. And I feel like it's the same about your values as well. They're already there. You just have to turn on the light to be able to see them, and maybe just accept them. Accept that you value something that maybe is not considered cool in society, or maybe not considered useful, or you don't see how that it ties into a greater thing, how it was with us and, you know, video games and spirituality. We didn't know how to tie them together, and it felt very awkward for a long period of time. How are we going to tie these two subjects that seem so different together? But God has a way. It was divine gaming, and now we're here.
Mm-hmm. You know, I can't believe that there was a period in our life where we thought spirituality and video games are opposite. We had the moment before because that's what society teaches you, but right now I cannot see that in any way.
Mhm.
It's extremely hard to see it in that way, but like it's just saying, that the more you allow yourself to be in your value and explore what you value,
Mhm.
it becomes more natural to you and you see all the facets of it much easily, let's say.
Yeah.
Anything from you guys?
I feel like with what you shared about exploring our values, it shows that it's safe to explore and safe to see that it's a process and things change. Like as Abir said in the sermon as well, is to have like a thorough a look at our thoughts, because our heart knows, but our thoughts are the ones that are like all programmed and everything. And like to know that it's a process and we can take our time and it's safe. Because we have, and to go like back to God every time, to be in our value, because our God is in our heart and mine too, but heart primarily. Yeah.
Thank you again for what you shared. It's like a extra sermon in the after church tea time, listening to all of what you said. I want to go deeper into this hiding space, or the fear of not sharing yourself because you don't feel that what you have to give is valuable, because you don't see yourself as perfect. Is that, of course, healing the inner space and loving yourself in that area, but you have to actually do it. You have to actually step out of this hiding space and really share it. This is something actively to really have the experience in your life and grow into that. And this is what it brought up for me, that you don't really change if you sit in it, and if you just yeah, engage with the action steps itself. Yeah.
Yeah, and like you kind of remind me of something about this subject that Alexander shared. It's like actually like when you share whatever you share, that's when it becomes perfect. So everything that you do, even if it looks imperfect, it only becomes perfect when you share it with God.
Mhm.
And that's kind of like why we should never wait on sharing and just share ourselves. And that's something that you eventually have kept inviting us along the years, and from Ascension School, like share your experience. And don't worry about being the perfect experience, just share your experience, because by sharing it, it's what makes it perfect. And when we're not sharing it at all, it's when it becomes incomplete. But it's not incomplete because we don't have all the pieces. It's incomplete because we haven't shared it with God. So that's what I remember about this and what I wanted to add.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I don't have anything to add to this. I have to sit with all of what you said, and yeah, just keep yourself reminded of that you're divine, and that nothing can take your divinity from you. because of your mistakes or what you don't know because of what you have to learn.
We have a comment from Yorin. Let's see what she said. I have to like expand the comment because it's big. Simon.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, going from now what Lau and Alex said about divine gaming, I find that life purpose class and the inner work that Jeff and Shaleia provide acts like a glue between all these different elements in our life. Like at first you can see how your interest ties together, but then it all makes sense. Yeah, I agree with this completely 100%. That was our experience as well. It felt like we had, all of these interests that we didn't know how they would come together, but through the inner work and separation consciousness, that's what it does, separates. I have this thing over there and that thing over there. I value that thing and that thing, but they don't seem to be together. Right? That's separation. Right? Hear the separation and you shall see how those things complement each other perfectly in ways that you haven't even thought about. And yeah, it's really, really, really beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's just about kind of being very, how to say, determined or persistent in not allowing that separation or that cloudiness in your judgment to give up on finding out what's there, because there's something really juicy. And I felt like this was something that kept us going in many situations. And also Jeff and Shaleia mentioned it in the book, when you search for your twin flame, you have this thread in your heart that kind of calls you, is the call towards your twin flame, right? And you follow that call. And no matter how, insane it might seem to have this, insane, I say, from like the view of like everybody else in the world, like why are you following this person? Why are you going through all of these challenges when you could be just with the soulmate, right? That's what the world is telling maybe you constantly, and inviting you to let go of that dream or let go of following your values here, like following what you're passionate about. But you have to be kind of persistent and determined to say no to that and be like, no, I value something here. I feel very called from within myself, like deep inside of myself, to pursue this. So therefore, I will not give up on that. And that's the proper kind of like attitude to have towards each and every aspect of your life, and each and everything that you value, be it like twin flame journey, be it like your life purpose, or be it anything else. It doesn't matter. Like if you approach it with the same level of conviction and not giving up, you will definitely make sense of everything, or get out of the cloudy situation that you might be in and see the truth for what it is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And change of subject. Watch romance instead, Anna. And if you don't have it, purchase it and watch it.
Get access and watch it.
Yeah.
Really, really good. Yeah.
I also love that quote that Beer shared at the end from Sri Questar, which was, if you have divine faith in your heart and you desire something that is not in this universe, it shall be created for you. So that aligns perfectly with what you guys were talking before. And also I like the card reading from Christy, the part where she pulled the card where Jesus was sleeping on a boat, and like a lot of waves were coming and a lot of storms and stuff. And
it was like a girl, but she was talking about how Jesus.
Yeah, she was talking about Jesus. Yeah. So yeah, it complements the part where you really can experience a lot of upsets and a lot of storms. But if you are like with that divine faith in your heart with God, you will get through it, and you will see that nothing is actually happening.
Yeah, I love that. It kind of ties into, I have recently gotten a card a lot in my healing, and the card was like chaos and conflict, right? And it was like dun, 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 ominous, bad vibes, you know. But when I read like the card comes with the description, the card was like, yeah, things don't seem to make sense right now, but have faith that there is a deeper thing being revealed. So it's like, even if like you have like a stormy situation around you or something that seemingly doesn't make sense, that's the magic moment where your consciousness is being challenged to change, and all that you have to do is just keep allowing yourself to be in a space of peace and navigate through the situation with a space of peace, and things will be revealed. There's like a really important lesson there, you know, that's being unraveled through whatever stormy situation might happen. And sometimes you might need to go through a complete reshaping of one area of your consciousness, and sometimes that may feel uncomfortable, but that's a place again where if you have lived all your life, for example, from a place of like people pleasing, right, which is not another how to say, way in which you're not valuing yourself, yes, words, then in order for you to change to a space where you value yourself and you're not people pleasing anymore, and you put yourself first here in your relationships, things will change, because most likely you will go through a stormy situation where you're going to have conflicts with people that before they could just maybe take from you or profit from, you know, your energy or your kindness, and that's not okay with you anymore. So therefore that has to change. So therefore things will go wild maybe a little bit, and it will look like, wow, what's happening? I made these choices and like everything is falling apart, but actually everything is falling together for you. Everything is falling in the right space for you, and everything that's not aligned with your value, that you have accepted within yourself now, can fall away. So this process will, you know, warning, disclaimer, you valuing yourself will create changes in your life, and some people might get upset about it. So that's kind of, I guess, the challenge that we're facing when we choose to value ourselves, is that things will change to, you know, create that, kind of how Andy said about that quote. If it doesn't exist in this universe, it will be created for you because you are calling it in. So that might look a bit stormy, and that's okay. That's what's needed for you to fully ground and manifest that new level of value that you're calling in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think we're complete.
Mm-hmm.
You guys?
Yeah.
Let's see if we have any other comments.
Yes.
We have no other comments.
Thank you, Yorin, for the comment. Really juicy. And thank you everybody for joining us today in this after church tea time. We discussed the beer sermon on value.
Mm-hmm.
We invite you to meditate upon this topic deeper and allow it to, you know, seep through your consciousness, sit with you, provide you the value and the healing that you require. And yes, just have a wonderful week valuing yourself, and like the rest of your life. Value yourself always. Make a choice to value yourself always, not just this week. Good. Well, have a wonderful rest of your Sunday, and we will see each other next time. Namaste.
Okay.